Imagine waking up each day feeling genuinely at peace, unburdened by the chaos of the world, and anchored by an inner stillness that nothing can shake. A serenity that doesn't depend on what happens around you, but flows naturally from understanding life as it is. This isn't just a dream. It's a real possibility. Discovered centuries ago by a quiet thinker named Baruch Spinoza, a man who lived in obscurity, yet left behind one of the most profound roadmaps to peace ever written. In this journey, we'll explore how his timeless philosophy can help you find calm in today's turbulent world, not by escaping chaos, but by understanding it. Let's begin. 1. The modern chaos and our search for calm. Look around. October 2025. The world feels louder than ever. Every second, we're bombarded with notifications, opinions, and crises. Global conflict, economic uncertainty, environmental threats. Even in moments of rest, the mind rarely stops spinning. We scroll for relief, but the more we consume, the more restless we feel. We long for stillness, for a peace that isn't fragile or fleeting. But where can it be found in a world that never slows down? The modern mind is exhausted, not by lack of information, but by too much of it, too many interpretations, too many judgments. And so, we look outward for relief, to entertainment, success, or spiritual trends that promise calm, but seldom deliver it. But what if the key to peace isn't in controlling the world, but in understanding it? That was the radical insight of Spinoza, a 17th century philosopher who lived a quiet life, polishing lenses, writing in solitude, and daring to think differently about everything humanity believed. While the world around him was torn apart by religion, politics, and fear, Spinoza discovered something extraordinary. The source of serenity lies not in changing life, but in seeing it clearly. 2. Spinoza's vision, embracing reality, finding freedom. Spinoza's philosophy begins with a single, simple idea, yet one that changes everything. There is only one reality. He called it God or nature, two words for the same infinite, living substance. Everything that exists, stars, trees, emotions, thoughts, even you and me, is part of this one vast, self-sustaining whole. There is no separation, no outside, no cosmic judge watching over us. To understand this is to dissolve the anxiety of duality, the feeling that we are small, fragile beings at the mercy of external powers. In Spinoza's world, nothing happens by chance. Everything unfolds from the nature of the universe itself, following the same divine logic that governs the stars. This is not fatalism. It is freedom through understanding. He wrote, "The more you understand things as necessary, the less you are disturbed by them. When you see that events are not random, but natural expressions of an interconnected whole. Something shifts inside you. You stop asking, "Why me?" and begin to see life as a vast web of causes and effects, where every experience, even pain, has its place. To Spinoza, freedom isn't the ability to control everything. It's the wisdom to understand why things are the way they are, and to act in harmony with that understanding. This is where true serenity begins. Not in resistance, but in clarity. Not in control, but in comprehension. 3. Conquering the passions, from turmoil to tranquility. Spinoza believes that human suffering arises not from the world itself, but from our inadequate ideas, confused perceptions that trap us in emotional storms. We call them passions: fear, anger, envy, anxiety. States where we are passive, driven by forces we don't fully understand. They pull us in directions we don't choose, and we react impulsively, hoping to escape discomfort. But Spinoza didn't condemn emotions. He saw them as natural phenomena, part of the same divine order as everything else. They are signals, not enemies. The problem isn't feeling them, but failing to understand what they reveal. For example, sadness isn't punishment. It's a reflection of something within us that perceives loss or limitation. Anger isn't evil. It's energy misdirected by confusion. Even joy, he said, is simply the mind's recognition of its own power, expanding. To live wisely, we must transform passive emotions into active understanding. Instead of being swept away by them, we observe, reflect, and ask, what truth is this emotion pointing to? This self-awareness gives rise to freedom, not freedom from emotion, but freedom within emotion. And when we begin to understand our feelings as part of a larger necessity, they lose their grip. Fear becomes curiosity. Anger softens into understanding. Desire transforms into love. Spinoza called this transformation the path toward the intellectual love of God. Not love in the religious sense, but love as deep comprehension, the joy that arises when we fully understand that we are part of something infinitely vast and beautiful. When you see the universe not as chaos, but as a perfect expression of order, serenity naturally follows. The highest activity of the mind, Spinoza wrote, is the understanding of God, and the highest virtue is to love this understanding. This love is not emotional attachment. It is the quiet joy of seeing things as they truly are, and realizing that nothing is separate. Nothing is wasted, and nothing is truly lost. 4. Practical Spinozism, applying ancient wisdom today. You might be wondering, how can this 17th century wisdom help us now in our 21st century chaos? Let's bring it down to the everyday. First, mindfulness beyond meditation. Spinoza offers a form of mindfulness deeper than mere breath awareness. It's the mindfulness of understanding. When something disturbs you, a criticism, a delay, a piece of bad news, pause and reflect. Why is this happening? What causes led to this moment? Can I see it as part of the whole, rather than a personal attack? When you do this, your mind shifts from resistance to comprehension. The disturbance becomes lighter, almost transparent. You stop fighting reality and start learning from it. Second, reframing setbacks. In the Spinoza's view, challenges are not punishments, they are consequences of natural laws. Just as a storm follows atmospheric conditions, so too our personal struggles arise from the causes surrounding us. Instead of saying, "This shouldn't have happened," ask, "What chain of causes brought this here? And what can I understand from it?" This reframing doesn't make pain disappear, but it transforms despair into insight. It turns life into a classroom instead of a battlefield. And slowly, you realize that serenity doesn't mean everything is calm. It means you are calm amidst everything. Third, the ethics of interconnectedness. Spinoza's universe is one. Every being, human, animal, or element, is an expression of the same divine substance. To harm another is, in a sense, to harm yourself. To understand another is to strengthen the harmony of the whole. When you internalize this, empathy ceases to be a moral duty and becomes a natural response. You begin to see others not as fellow expressions of the same vast life you belong to. This understanding dissolves isolation, envy, and resentment, replacing them with compassion and quiet respect. The world remains the same, but your perception transforms it entirely. 5. Your path to enduring serenity. Spinoza didn't promise easy peace. He offered a deep, enduring serenity, the kind that arises only through reflection and self-understanding. Here are a few ways to begin integrating his wisdom into your daily life. First, a daily mental exercise. Each morning, before diving into the noise of the day, pause for a few moments of Spinozistic reflection. Ask yourself, what is within my power to understand today? What emotions can I observe without judgment? What part of the whole am I playing right now? By doing this, you shift your attention from control to clarity, from fear to understanding. And each night, review your day not with regret, but with gentle curiosity. Notice where passion overtook reason and where understanding brought peace. This quiet self-examination deepens awareness and slowly aligns you with the natural rhythm of life. Second, beyond temporary fixes. Many modern solutions to stress, affirmations, distractions, motivational videos work like band-aids. They soothe the surface, but leave the roots untouched. Spinoza's approach goes deeper. It doesn't merely promise comfort, it invites transformation. When you understand life's necessity, serenity becomes a way of being, not a momentary relief. You stop depending on circumstances to feel peaceful. You find stability within the understanding itself. And even when storms arise, the center remains still. Third, continuing the journey. To truly walk this path, consider exploring Spinoza's ethics. It's not an easy read, written in geometric propositions and proofs, but within it lies a living wisdom. You don't have to grasp every line. Simply reflect on its essence, that everything happens by necessity, that understanding dissolves fear, and that love, not the sentimental kind, but the love born of deep comprehension, is the highest joy a human can know. Let this understanding grow quietly within you. It doesn't demand belief, only reflection. And over time, it begins to change how you experience everything, from the simplest moment of breathing to the most complex emotions of love and loss. Spinoza once said, "Peace is not the absence of war. It is a virtue, a state of mind, a disposition for benevolence, confidence, and justice." Peace, then, is not found in the world outside, but in how we see that world. When we understand that everything unfolds from the same source, that nothing stands apart, our fear begins to fade. We no longer feel like isolated fragments fighting the tide, but waves in the ocean, distinct, yet one with the whole. And in that realization, serenity naturally arises. So, as you listen to the hum of the world tonight, remember, every sound, every movement, every breath, even your thoughts, are part of the same infinite nature that Spinoza called God. You are not apart from life. You are life itself, expressing, observing, and awakening. And in that realization lies unshakable peace. Thank you for joining this reflection on Spinoza's wisdom. If you found calm in these words, remember to carry it gently into your day or night, not as an idea, but as a quiet understanding. You are whole. You are part of the great order, and serenity is already within you. You've been listening to Truthfully Free. If this message resonated with you, consider sharing it, not just with others, but with your quieter self. Until next time, stay aware, stay free. Happiness is not the reward of virtue, but virtue itself. Baruch Spinoza.